Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. What has been the theme that we've used when talking about Joe Biden or in the Joe Biden videos? Each and every single time, it's man, he still hasn't gotten a single win in the press. Well, Democrats would tell you today, or they would have you believe, Joe Biden just ended a 2-decade-long war. Joe Biden is ushering in an era of peace that hasn't been seen in a generation. Joe Biden finally got a win in the press. He's pulling troops out of Afghanistan. He's ending the war. That's what they would have you believe. But reality is, Joe Biden is nothing but a plagiarist, taking credit once again for something he didn't even do. And the phony media is refusing to tell the whole story, or if they are, it's beyond the headlines, but we all know no one reads the headlines. And the talking heads themselves that are doing segments on it aren't even representing the true reality of the situation. That this is Donald Trump. This was a deal that Donald Trump secured, and Joe Biden is once again taking credit for it. Vaccine rollout, he did the same thing, claiming that there was no vaccine stockpile and there was no plan when there was literally 800 million vaccines already requested by the Trump administration. This guy is a serial liar, a serial plagiarist, and of course, he does it again. But speaking of doing it again, we gotta expose the Democrat narrative once again. These liars, the lies, the phony narratives, the misinformation, and frankly, the ignorance of what really happened here. And once again prove that Joe Biden is a plagiarist and he's standing on the shoulders of the Trump administration. We got a lot to get into, but before we do, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so yesterday morning, you might have seen headlines like this: breaking, Biden announces troop withdrawal with Afghanistan will begin May 1st. And if you Google it, you'll probably find this video right over here from ABC, where this is how they present it.
Good afternoon, and we're coming on the air at this hour with breaking news involving U.S. troops in Afghanistan. President Biden is set to announce the apparent end to America's longest war.
And so here's the thing. The initial headline that I showed you was May 1st. ABC News is reporting September 11th. What if I told you the only thing Joe Biden did here was change the date? I mean, talk about a serial plagiarist. He took something which was already pre-existing and just changed the date, just made a little change, and then poof, it's his own, right? I mean, that's how the plagiarist mind works. That's all Joe Biden did. Change the day from May 1st to September 11th. Joe Biden is also claiming this:
I'm now the fourth United States president to preside over American troop presence in Afghanistan. 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. I will not pass this responsibility on to a fifth. After consulting closely with our allies and partners, with our military leaders and intelligence personnel, with our diplomats and our development experts, with the Congress and the Vice President, as well as with Mr. Ghani and many others around the world, I've concluded that it's time to end America's longest war. It's time for American troops to come home.
He claims that 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans have been in office as this war rages on in the Middle East, or in Afghanistan specifically. He claims that he's gonna put an end to it. Joe Biden is the one taking a stand against the military-industrial complex and putting an end to this endless war. Except, no, he isn't. In fact, Joe Biden is playing into Trump's hand. This is the reality. Islamabad, the Taliban demanded Sunday that the United States and its foreign military allies leave Afghanistan by May 1st, in line with a peace agreement that the insurgent group signed with Washington a year ago, warning any attempt to change the path is already doomed to failure. In fact, the deal was May 11th, and now Joe Biden is saying September 11th. It's possible that Joe Biden actually muddies up the water even further as he changes the agreements when they explicitly warned not to. Keep in mind, the United States signed that peace agreement over a year ago, aka the Trump administration, and we all remember the headlines of Mike Pompeo traveling to the Middle East to actually have discussions with the Taliban and have some peace talks. They were using diplomacy to bring down the animosity within the region. In a statement released to journalists and on the website marking the first anniversary of the February 2020 accord sealed in Doha, Qatar, the Taliban claimed they have fully adhered to and remain committed to the understanding aimed at ending the 2 decades of Afghan war. It called on Washington to honor its part of what the group described as a historic deal. U.S. US President Joe Biden's administration is currently reviewing the deal his predecessor, former President Donald Trump, sealed with the Afghan insurgency and deciding whether to pull the remaining 2,500 remaining American soldiers from Afghanistan to close America's longest war. NATO-led US allies have fewer than 10,000 troops left in the country. This is the position that Donald Trump put Biden in. 2,500 troops left and a historic deal, a peace treaty with insurgent groups and Middle Eastern nations, as well as American allies, NATO nations, to end a 2-decade-long war. He put that in Joe Biden's hands, putting Joe Biden in a position where he would have absolutely no choice but to follow through with actually withdrawing the troops, because of course if he didn't, then he would be viewed as a warmonger. And it took them 3 months in office to come to the conclusion that they have to do the right thing. The only thing that they changed is May 1st to September 11th. That is literally the only thing that the Biden administration has done here. Yet what are all of the liberal outlets writing about? Each and every single one of them pushing the headline that Joe Biden is either ending the war or Joe Biden is pulling out the remaining troops or 2,500 troops out of Afghanistan and bringing them home on September 11th. Not a single mention in any of the headlines reads as it should, which is Joe Biden honors historic peace deal brokered by Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo to put an end to the Afghan war. All of this is just the residual success of Donald Trump. It's funny because the praise goes out when it's Joe Biden, but when it was Donald Trump, it was the exact opposite in the headlines, the same sort of propaganda and biased reporting that was described from the CNN editor in that Project Veritas video from yesterday. I mean, just look at this headline right over here from the Washington Post from back in September 15th, 2020. The mirage of Trump's quote-unquote peace deals. He secured peace deals with Bahrain, Israel, Saudi Arabia, in the Balkans. I think I got those countries right, and I think there was one more as well. The point is, the last time there was a significant peace deal, I think was 23 or 25 years ago in the 1990s with the country of Jordan. One deal in the last 2.5 decades. Donald Trump got 3 or 4 of them secured in a couple months at the end of the election season, and about 6 to 8 months prior to that with the Taliban in Afghanistan securing a date to pull back troops on May 1st, 2021. But the media gave him no praise. And even now, as Joe Biden tries to take credit, they're still trying to diminish and downplay Donald Trump's role in these historic deals. It's a complete farce. Giving the credit to Joe Biden. Joe Biden also claiming that he's consulting with Barack Obama in how to move forward in these deals. Barack Obama, who made an absolute mess in the Middle East that Donald Trump came in and cleaned up, is the one who at the end of the day is going to take credit here with, of course, Joe Biden together. It's going to be their foreign policy wins to combat their foreign policy disasters for 8 years while in office. And of course, the economic disaster that once again Donald Trump came in and cleaned up and set the ship straight sailing. Well, Donald Trump just inherited Obama's economy. No, Donald Trump inherited a stagnant economy that was growing incredibly slow and took it to boomtown, and inherited an incredibly messy Middle East where ISIS was completely taking over entire countries and entire cities and states and nearly vaporized them, which then led to multiple historic deals and troop withdrawals that the American people deeply, deeply wanted. The narrative that Donald Trump was just inheriting Obama's successes and working off Obama's name and, quote, legacy. I can't even say the word legacy in relation to Obama whatsoever, so I have to air quote it. Just know that I did air quotes when I said that, folks. But that narrative was never true. However, what's seemingly coming to full fruition and is absolutely true is that Joe Biden is 100% working off the legacy of Donald Trump, at least on the COOF, vaccines, Project Warp Speed, and foreign policy. But I'd say most likely, considering the direction that the Biden administration is headed, especially when it comes to economic and tax policies, and even foreign policy in general, it's not going to last too long. I'll tell you that much. And the only reason, I truly believe this, the only reason that Joe Biden is withdrawing the troops in the first place, considering his nominations to his cabinet, his military funding, and just the warmongers on the left who support him and are part of his team, I'd say the only reason that he pulled out the troops is because Donald Trump put him in a position where he had absolutely no other choice but to do so, or he would get absolutely railed in a bipartisan sense. Donald Trump's working for the American people, even while not in office. Go figure. It's exactly what you'd expect. Now, that's the video that I got for you guys on this one. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. But now I gotta get back to work. There's always a whole lot of Joe Biden and media hypocrisy, so I'm gonna get to that. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.